Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We've been super speedway racing. We've been to an intermediate track and we've been to the road course at Coda. But tonight, we go short track racing with the tumbleweeds and under the cactus at Phoenix. My name's Aaron Dorman and this is the Australian NASCAR eSeries. Joining me, we've got a very special guest in the booth this weekend, fellow racer in the NASCAR eSeries, Cal Withy. Welcome, Cal.
Hello, Aaron. Hello, everybody, and it's a pleasure to be up here and not sweating down on the hot asphalt that is Phoenix. I chose the nice air-conditioned booth tonight rather than a very hot and sweaty race car. It's going to be an interesting race here tonight. Always brings us some spectacular action, Phoenix.
Yeah, well, there'll be a bit of strategy play. Who can make those tyres last? That's always the big talk on these shorter tracks. Who gets in and out of the pit lane successfully? I believe we've just finished qualifying. So we'll read out the grid places for tonight's race. Starting on the pole, Brad Newman for Lobs Esports with the 27.025. In second place, Ethan Winter. Third, Dave Douglas, Jason Martin, Lachlan Mead, Tom Freer, Stevie Williams, Brian Jones, Nick Bottrell and Josh Mickelmore rounding out the top 10. Then behind him you'll have Brendan Urquhart, Lachlan Equigio, Ant Cuthbertson, Trent Gosley, Jason Holdsworth, Sam Smith, Dane Snadden, Shane Bowen, Riley Curtis, Brian Barber, Daniel Boyd, Andy Barber, Henry King, Robert Dunt, Matt Danson in 25th place, Shane Newens, Bailey Leeson, Ruben Phelps, Wayne Burke, Timo Blundell, Jamie Nankervis, Brian Blundell, Michael Campbell and Noddy Tompkins.
An absolute bumper field there. 34 cars out here tonight at the Xfinity car. It tends to be a bit wild around this place. You know, there's not that much grip in this thing. It is all about mechanical grip, and it's going to be about keeping those tyres just nice and cool. Track temperature is about 43, I think, 42 degree track temperature at the moment, 28 degree air temperature, and that is really going to affect these cars. You're going to have to be so careful on those rear tyres. You do not want to overheat them because that's just going to end up ruining your race.
So this is our schedule. So we're in round 4. So this week, 154 laps around Phoenix Raceway. Next week, we'll be visiting Las Vegas under the lights. So the cars have just taken off, leaving pit lane on their warm-up lap.
And getting out. Oh, sorry.
2 by 2.
Getting out on the track, as I say, 2 by 2, getting themselves on that initial warm-up lap, and it's just about getting the car into the right temperature now, getting yourself in focus for the start. And it is a very different start here at Phoenix now, with the long straightaway that you've got to go down without the pace car in front of you, down towards that sort of first corner. It is a bit of an odd starting position here at Phoenix. please make sure to hit the subscribe button. Get yourselves ready for this. It is round number 4 here at Phoenix, and we are about to have the green flag drop here for the Xfinity Series. It is the X Series here in Phoenix tonight.
So Brad Newman's going to lead him away. He gets a good jump. Ethan Winter's just a little better car length behind. But can he get that run on the outside? It comes up to cover.
And it is absolute carnage, and we've got a car going around. Oh, don't saved it!
Save it.
Oh, but we've got even Winter. We've got one of the cars up front with Dave Douglas.
We're staying green. They keep it pointing in the right direction somehow. I don't even know how many wide that is. It's 4 or 5 wide. We got a spinner there in the background. Just gets tagged once and twice. Just being in the mid-pack around this place, it's just hard. You can't see. And unfortunately, we had a car go around there.
Robert Dunn, unfortunately, in the 32. The Prime 100 sponsored car, just looping it on the entry into turn 3. I think there might have been a little bit of contact with the 52, I think, of King. So Henry King, just a little bit of contact. And then, unfortunately...
the teammate, I think, in the 20 car.
And then, yeah, as you said, I think teammates made contact. Unfortunately, I think Ruben Phelps might have been involved in that one as well. I was sort of just scrolling back because I saw somebody's bonnet go flying up from that contact.
Phelps caught in there. I believe that's Ryan Barber.
Yeah, Sam Smith. Tim Blundell's got his bonnet up, and he's not going to be able to see much from there. And then Noddy Tompkins made it through. Ryan Barber, as you said. And Brian Blundell just squeezed it through there. But that was a sketchy first couple of laps there, Aaron.
It's a lot of people jostling, trying to get that track position. There's a lot of strong cars a lot further back than they'd probably like to be.
Absolutely.
Oh, Timo's just got nowhere to go there. Just at the grip limit. Just tried to turn a little bit harder. Slid the front tyres. And there's Sam Smith. He tries to go high, tries low. And just ends up just, unfortunately, collecting teammates.
Now, something I'm surprised at, we've not had really anybody take a trip down pit lane for some fuel here. Everybody's stuck it out and decided, no, we're just going to stick it out here and just save the fuel under the pace car.
It's a little bit early for playing that strategy game, but sometimes every little bit counts.
Yeah, I was doing some number crunching, and it's sort of about, I think about 70, 75 laps on fuel. So it's that sort of distance where you could have a little bit extra in the tank. If you're down the back, just chucking a little bit in the tank gives you an extra lap or two. It might come to make a difference in the race, but nobody taking that opportunity now. Pace car is pulling in.
And like you said earlier at the start of the race, there's that long drive down the back straight. It's a unique track where the pit lane is not actually on the front straight, it's at the back stretch.
This long drive down to the restart zone now. It's Brad Newman up in front with Ethan Winter on his outside. Lachlan Mead, Jason Martin, Nick Bottrell and Ryan Jones. That's the top 6 at the moment. Into the restart zone they come. And Newman drops a hammer early, gets a good start. And we're going to see the cars spreading across the field, dropping down the dogleg, and the chaos is about to begin.
Let's see if they've learnt any lessons from that one, first start. Just a little bit of patience might be key in this early stint in the race. Just slowly chip away, get a few positions here, a few positions there.
Hopefully it'll be a little bit less crazy with the grip at the first couple of corners, because tyres will be up to temperature now. It's that strange thing at the start of the race where you want some heat in the tyres, and then after about 2 laps you're going to be crying about too much heat in the tyres. It's a no-win situation out there tonight.
That is very correct. That track temperature is going to fry these tyres. So it's about a matter of getting through the traffic without using too much of your stuff. Reasonably single file at the front of the track. They're just trying to get to the pit stop, and then they'll try and make all their moves after that. A little bit further back though, you're starting to look 2 or 3 wide in certain spots.
I think one to watch out for is the number 10, Dave Douglas. He lost a whole heap of positions with that slight spin that he had. I didn't see if there was any assistance in that, but that's dropped him all the way down the field into 16th position. So that's a very fast car tonight that is out of position. We know it's got some good qualifying speed in it. Now, how will the race pace go? We've also got Matt Danson just a couple of cars away there too. Not the greatest qualifying, but the race pace usually comes good for the number 30 of Matty Danson.
Then there's the SRM car of Ruben Phelps, also not too far behind Matt Danson.
Yeah, I hope Ruben saying a couple of things over the radio, just to sort of, I thought I heard him say something, and I just was hoping that wasn't him caught in the action. So sorry if I gave some people a bit of a panic earlier. He's managed to get through that without any trouble in the 06.
Which will be good news for his mum, who will be watching this broadcast. So we say hello and welcome to you, and jump in the chat, and any parents, friends, or even nemesis of other drivers, tell us who you're supporting.
Yeah, keep these socials flowing. Make sure to leave those comments and hit that like button as well, because it does help promote the broadcast to new eyes far away as well. So always a useful thing to have. But we've got some great racing going on in the mid-pack at the moment.
Oh, there's a big slide in the middle of that. I think the 03.
Yeah, we've got the
Few cars touching the wall.
Brandon Burkhart really taking that low line at the moment, Aaron.
Not too many cars electing to take the dog leg. Sometimes it's a safer way around the outside. Be predictable, stay above that yellow line. So we've got Riley Curtis just looking up the inside of the 03. You might see him take the dog leg here to shortcut the track. No, he's looking at that momentum, just drop it down to the yellow line.
I think they're really trying to save the tyres at the moment, because they're not being aggressive with that dog leg. You can be so much more aggressive with that. If you're willing to give up a little bit of that right front tyre, you want to drop in almost clipping the wall on the inside near the pit lane. You could really be very aggressive and get a lot of speed, but it does wear the tyres a little bit quicker, and it also unsettles the car as well. And that's something that you don't really get an appreciation for when you're watching from the outside. When you watch sort of on the onboard, you really see how much the car gets unsettled when it goes on that dog leg. It is a really tricky part of the track, and it's so easy to have a big mistake coming through that section.
Oh, you just see, I believe, Riley Curtis there, just ranging up on the back of Matt Danson under brakes. Ethan Winter is not letting Newman get that far away. Newman's going to be wanting to skip away and just run away with this one. But Ethan just hanging on there, about half a second behind.
The great thing about up the front at the moment is they've got sort of relatively clean, cool air as well, and they're just sort of matching their pace. They're not having to worry too much. There's a bit of a gap back to Jason Martin at the moment and Lachlan Mead. But this is where all the action is at the moment, as they really start taking the dog leg now, as the racing starts to heat up in that mid-pack. You've got Riley Curtis, Matt Danson, Dan Snell, and Shane Bowen up there as well, just in front of this pack, and they are really starting to cut the dog leg as we go three wide. Ruben Phelps looking to go down the inside, Riley Curtis on the outside. Will they make it work?
Brakes. Who takes the dog leg to just shortcut the track a little bit?
Three wide at Phoenix is always a moment when your heart skips a beat and you just go, "Ooh, this could be juicy." But they got away with that one well. Of course, the other thing as well about Phoenix is this back straight here. Well, the bit of straight here that we're on now, it's very narrow. So if you get a car going sideways here, it's very easy to have a big accident in that section. Very hard to avoid cars when they spin there.
And just no runoff, just walls either side, the safer barrier there. We look at Ruben Phelps and the 03, just take that dog leg. This gives you the sense of speed that they're going past down that back straight. Off turn 2, I believe, for that corner.
It's always the hard part now. They've rejiggered the turns, isn't it? We've got the turn 3 and 4 still on the start finish line. So it just really throws you out when you're trying to work out which corner is which corner. Riley Curtis getting a big run down the inside there, moving its way up. Riley been on an absolute flyer recently too. Good to see Riley getting some good pace out there, trying to get himself ahead of Anthony Cuthbertson at the moment. Goes down the inside here into turns 3 and 4, and going to try and take that dogleg. Watch to see how much they're going to cut it. Not super amounts at the moment. They're still being pretty tame there.
And then you just got Ruben Phelps just in behind, nowhere really to go. Very narrow track surface to, a big hit on the wall from the 0-3 then. From Brendan Dane Snadden, sorry.
Yeah, that was a big side swipe, and that's going to really affect the momentum, and that causes the check up behind. Luckily, nobody getting caught up in that one, but it is starting to get tough out there.
Just starting to look on the inside of Riley Curtis there, and Snadden's also looking up the inside of Ruben Phelps.
You could not fit a cigarette paper between those two cars then. That was absolutely as close as you want it.
The 0-3's just getting a little bit loose. Maybe he's used a bit too much of his tyres a bit too early. Saw him just get into Cuthbertson a little bit there. And see him slide up the track.
Well, it's just all of a sudden the heat is caught up on that car, you got to say, and it's just sliding across the track. There is no grip there whatsoever.
That's the trade-off around these kind of circuits. Can you go hard early and use up those tyres, get that track position, but then it might come bite you. 22 laps into the race now, when his tyres are starting to go away.
It's so easy to overdo it as well on this track. It's so easy just to get caught up in the battles around you. If you're slightly off the line that you used to take, and you can find yourself in a bad situation later on. There's some great battles going on throughout the track at the moment, and we are catching pretty much all of them on the cameras at the moment. And really some frantic action here in the mid-pack, got to say, sort of around about the 16th, 17th position. This is where all the big action is happening. Big slide there for Cuthbertson, just coming off of 1 and 2. Rear tyres are starting to scream on that Supra at the moment.
And in the chat, I believe Bradley Can says, "G'day fellas, should be a good race this one." And Greg H says, "Good to see Dean having a better time of it. Let's go WBR."
Jumping up to the front here, Jason Martin's getting under the attack. It's nice to see Jason Martin out on the track. Not always the driver to be in a non-fixed setup race. He has got a lot of experience in the fixed setup area, but he is making that
We have a slow-moving car around the outside. Moves out of their way, so these guys continue racing. Lachlan Mead and Ryan Jones just ranging up behind him.
That was Shane Newens up there, just getting out the way and just getting that car around at the moment, just keeping himself out of trouble.
Well, these guys, they join the league just to build experience. There's no better way to build experience than pitting yourself against the best that Australia has. So if you want to be a part of this, jump in our Discord, sign up to do these races, jump in the fun yourself. Like and subscribe in the socials. We're live on Facebook and YouTube tonight.
It's a thing of iron sharpening iron, isn't it, Aaron? It's you get a lot of experience racing these guys, and it does help build your confidence. You learn a lot from the races, even if you feel like you're quite slow at the start. You do learn a lot, and you start building that confidence. And when you start racing really good races on track, it only gets you better down the track as well. And we're looking just there. We saw Stevie Dubb, an absolute stalwart, 0-3 right here. Dane Snadden battling out with Tom.
Tom Freya.
And
As the 73 just jumps out of the way again, Shane Newlands. He's been quite polite. He's a little bit off the pace. Maybe he's carrying some damage. Oops, side by side, Jason Holdsworth on Nick Bottrell. But Jason's going to try and make that outside line work. Use that momentum. A bit longer around the track. As you can see there, Nick Bottrell's just gained that advantage of taking the shortcut. Few less meters on the track.
Coming in with a bit of confidence tonight, I can say Nick Bottrell was feeling pretty good coming into tonight, and done a bit of practice, done a bit of working out what's going on, and a teammate for myself. So hoping for a good night tonight for the Valve boys. But Jason Holdsworth is going to be pushing, and Josh Micklemore as well, starting to put pressure on the back of Jason too. So you've got some incredibly fast drivers there. Holdsworth, Micklemore, Stevie Williams. Oh, as Holdsworth clips the wall there, that's not going to help the speed of that car.
You can just see the amount of momentum that cuts out. Then you got Stevie Williams right behind him.
You know, DPR car will get strong. It usually has good long run pace in those cars, and he's going to be putting pressure on Jason now, who's just got to get himself recentered, make sure there's no damage to that steering arm, get yourself settled down. But all those rear tyres are going off big time.
He was lucky to hold on to that, not spin in front of everyone. So the long run pace is just starting to go away from Jason Holdsworth as he's about to get monstered by Matt Danson.
And we have got a pit stop in Lachlan Urquio. So Lockie is coming into the lane in the 42 for a pretty early stop here, only 32 laps into the stint. So that is a really early one. I think making a tiny little bit of damage on the right front. So that's going to be interesting to see what's happening there. And we'll keep an eye on his progress through the night and see what the plan is for the 42.
If he's hoping it's probably going to go green, get a good undercut, while these guys are starting to wobble around and slide. As you can see, a bit of a slide there from Ryan Jones off the corner. Lockie's just going to be wanting to get those fresh tyres on, blaze past the field, unlap himself.
Sorry, Aaron, I think his night might be done for. He had a bit of contact with Matt Danson. I don't know if we've got the incident coming up for that one, but yeah, he had a big hit into the wall, and it looks like the right front suspension was hasn't come up, unfortunately. But yeah, he took a big whack into the wall, and it looks like the right front suspension is damaged to the point where he's not continuing for the evening. So we have had a retirement there in the 42 of Urquio.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Lachlan.
Up here.
So we're just on the roof of Lachlan Mead here, just looking at the 21 versus the
We are waving
just
away.
Look at us up in the booth there. So the 11's just got the inside looking.
We're enjoying the aircon up there and just having a lovely time, but this battle on track is really heating up. Martin in the 21, Ryan Jones in the 11, and Lachlan Mead in the 16, really battling it out. And they are sort of, it's good to see this fight on track, and I'm sure everybody behind is enjoying this battle because that's going to help just cost them a bit of time. Okay.
So if we see the 11 of Ryan Jones just come up, looking for a bit of a side drop.
We've got a caution, and it is Nick Bottrell around just on the start-finish line. And we get, the second caution for the night. It is the 225, having looks like there's just a spin there coming on to the dog leg. Back end has just gone out on that car and just caught him out a little bit.
Was there a little touch? No, he just lost it on his own.
After I talked him up as well, curse of the commentator has absolutely been ticked away on that one. I'm sorry, Nick.
So we're just on board. Oh, you can just see how much he tried to save it then. Just unfortunately couldn't quite grab it. Those tyres are cooked. As we see everyone jump into pit lane right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a foolhardy task to stick it out there, I've got to say. So
The crucial thing is not to speed on pit lane. Don't get that 40-second penalty. That will take you out of this race very quickly. Pulls up perfectly in the middle of the box.
And right side goes up, left side will go up, and they will be spinning out very, very quickly as the tyre, the tyre, the wheel guns should be making a lot of noise right now. But it is Newman coming out.
Who's the big winner and losers behind him? It's all very tight there for second, third, fourth, fifth. I believe Jason Martin has jumped Ethan Winter.
It was a very tidy stop from Martin and getting himself out in second place there, jumping Winter. Just looking to see if anybody has tried something a bit different, and it might be Anthony Cuthbertson. Looks like he might have taken just right sides only. Just going back to have a bit of a look at that one, Aaron, and seeing what's going on with that car. It looks like just taking right sides only. So yeah, that jumped Cuthbertson up a whole heap of spots from when they were coming in. But it looks to be the only car out there taking that option.
That's a bit of a gamble. Will it work for him, or is he going to get swamped with everyone else around him with all 4 new sticker tyres?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go back to racing as the pace car pulls in, and we get the nice long run down this back straight now, and we get ready to go back to green flag racing here, Aaron.
But they're just starting around turn 3 now. Green flag. Barney drops the green flag. A little bit later there for Newman this time, but he's still got a good jump. As they're filing in 3 wide, 4 wide. God knows how many wide back there.
Cars as far as I can see.
Few clips on the wall there, just maybe unsighted.
Oh, they got contact, and they save it.
Managed to save it. A blocky me just got a little bit of contact with, I believe, Ryan Jones in the DPR car.
That's got to be one of the saves of the night. I think we had a couple of those at the start of the race as well. It's a great job, but unfortunately for Lockie Mead, that's just going to really heat up those tyres, and they are just going to be horrible for the next couple of laps. That's going to really hurt him for a few laps now as he spun up those tyres. We've got a car going around in the background. It's a DPR car, and I think it's Stevie Dubb.
There's multiple cars included.
So Stevie Dubb in there with Michael Campbell.
Maybe Dave Douglas in the green car?
Yeah, Dave Douglas. Oh, let's see how much it was. Brian Blundell as well. So there is a big pile up there on the exit of the corner.
He just unfortunately got caught up, or probably got off relatively easy out of that.
Just have to
little tap of the wall.
Out.
Oh, real bad bump draft. So the 98, I believe, from Nick Bottrell, that looked like. And then it just becomes a traffic jam, and a few other cars get caught up. Unfortunately, nowhere to go.
Yeah, so Stevie Dubb had a moment with Daniel Boyd. Those two made contact, and they went round.
Daniel Boyd. My bad. Sorry, Nick.
There was the second incident in the background too. So there was a secondary sort of incident happening where it looks like Trent Gosley has just gone down and made a tiny bit of contact with Nick Bottrell, got on the brakes, and then ended up spinning himself too. So it sort of was a double incident happening there.
Yeah, so two happening at the same time. We always say cautions breed cautions, and that's the unfortunate thing behind the wheel. Just so tight, so condensed. Few people are going to elect to get a bit of damage off.
Ooh.
Maybe
Okay,
top up with a bit of fuel.
We've got a bit of a secondary incident happening, actually, under that caution. There was a bit of contact between Stevie Dub and Nick Bottrell. So there was a... We'll have a look at this now. So watching on board here. Slowing down, I think, to let Stevie Dub pass. And then there's contact there, and around Nick goes.
Is that a
And
bit of a retaliation, or is he just caught on the brakes a little bit too much?
I don't know, that's a weird one. The only thing...
There was a car going around the outside, and there just wasn't really room for Stevie to come down.
Yeah, that's a weird one. As is the story with NASCAR, it's a full contact sport. There's nothing wrong with a bit of door rubbing, a bit of door banging, and when tempers flare, things can go a bit wrong a bit quickly. But up the front, they're hoping that doesn't happen. Brad Newman having to do another restart here. Gonna have Ethan Winter on his outside. Managed to get past Jason Martin. Down the long straight they go. And back to racing we will go in just a few short moments.
They line up 2 by 2. Just a slow progression around turn 3 here. Ready to take that green flag.
Green, green, green.
So pretty early in the box for Newman. Just gets that car length jump straight away. Goes down the dog leg. Just takes that bit of a shortcut. It's all relatively tame. Looks mostly 2 wide back there. Not a whole lot of 3 wide just yet.
Jason Martin getting a good start. So does Matt Danson. They're moving their way up the field very quickly. That sort of inside line really took off that time. They managed to get themselves into some decent positions. Even Winter having a good restart to keep himself up there in second, but it is all chop and change behind, and they are battling hard.
Battling hard, but at this stage battling clean. These guys don't like driving around slowly in the cautions. The Jason Holdsworth just looking a little bit loose off the corners in the background there.
Yeah, one of the leaders just made a bit of contact with the wall, and it was Ethan Winter just giving the Cactus a big front row view of his car. Just gave the wall a bit of a rub, and that's giving Jason Martin the chance to close the gap. We saw with Jason Holdsworth, the car was looking a bit on the sketchy side in that last stint. Now he's got some fresh tyres on, hoping it's settled, and hopefully that bit of front end damage isn't affecting him too much.
Cars are still electing to take the dog leg early in the stint. And on our Facebook chat, I can see Lucky Aquilo just not quite happy with the end of his race there. Not quite happy with the bit of contact fighting for 11th place. So unfortunately, it's a very tight track and contact's been made for not a lot of gain, just low reward down there in 11th place.
Yeah, but you and me both know, Aaron, you know, when you're on the track, it doesn't matter what position you're in, you tend to fight as hard as possible. But I can understand feeling hard done by earlier on in the race. And unfortunately, it looked like it was a heavy impact into the wall that damaged the right front suspension and took him out of the race tonight. Hopefully, next time out at Las Vegas, the lucky gods will be on his side.
That's it. The swings and roundabouts in this sport. You might have a bad race or maybe 2 or 3 in a row, but then you somehow find a bit of confidence, turn things around. I don't think Lockie needs any more confidence. He's up there. He's normally in the fight of the mix. Unfortunately tonight, just a bad qualifying. Just put him back in the order a little bit. If we look at Ruben Phelps, passing the 31 of Micklemore, I believe. Yep. That outside line, just take a little bit of momentum, squeeze him down, get a bit of side draft. The inside line's going to squeeze him against the wall, so he can't really do a whole lot.
When you're racing against Ruben Phelps, you will not get many inches to play with. He will really push it, and he is a very hard but fair racer as well, Ruben, and will take you out to that wall and give you that squeeze when needed, but he will give that little bit of space, and that's always the hard thing when Ruben is coming up behind you. You sort of see it on your timing screen, you go, oh no, you know it's going to be a tough battle, and that's what Josh Micklemore is having right now, and it looks like Ruben Phelps has managed to make it work, slides up in front of the 31 and gets himself the position up into 7th.
Very tight there for the probably top 15 cars. Hasn't really fanned out after this caution. They've got fresh tyres still.
We're not seeing the gaps sort of building at the moment. Number 5 there, and Riley Curtis in the 93 having a good battle with the 032. So there's plenty of action going on throughout this pack at the moment. As we see Dean Snedden battling it out with Lachlan Mead up there as well, just trying to get himself closed in, trying to get himself recovered from that half spin he had earlier in this race. We know that car's got a lot of speed in it too, but those tyres will have got a lot of heat going through them, so it's got to do a lot of recovery. Andy Barber up there too, the older of the Barbers out there tonight, and he is going to be winning the battle, unfortunately, because Ryan Barber is out of this race. But Andy having a good run up there at the moment in 13th position there, racing hard, almost going 3 wide there. Dean Snadden battling it out with Lachlan Mead, who takes that inside line, going to really try and take that tightening line. A little bit of a slide for Snadden, and that's going to be the opportunity for Mead to get himself up in front.
Me just throwing it in there too, just turning it in early, hope it sticks. Snadden is not giving him a lot of room to be able to get a little bit tight or loose and just come up the track a little bit.
A good recovery, a good battle going on from Snadden as well, you know, really fighting for that position at the moment. You can see there Dave Douglas too, being in the wars a bit tonight. We know that car is quick, but has taken a couple of licks with the wall and just a couple of those cautions as well. We saw him having to do a bit of an emergency stopping to get himself past as one of the cars makes contact as they come past the cactus.
So Dave's just looking to make it 3 wide, just going to try and open the door, push Snadden out a little bit wide. He's trying to work out which one to stick with. Snadden opens the door a little bit as the 19 just slides up, ruins his momentum a little bit to allow the 10 underneath him.
That was a beautiful move by Dave Douglas, just getting past the sort of 2 cars at once. As Snadden and Mead were battling each other, it's just like, no, I can see my opportunity here and I'm going to take it, and flies himself past those 2 cars up into 14th position. But this is what we're talking about. The battle is really intense all throughout the field. This is for the mid-pack. This is 15th, 14th, 15th and 16th position, and they are fighting like it is worth the victory here tonight.
Sometimes when you're stuck in that mid-pack, getting a position or 2 does feel like a victory.
I know that feeling all too well.
As do I.
And we can see... and we can see that bit of contact, bit of hip and shoulder action going on as well. They are really keeping it nice and snug there. Andy Barber, Dave Douglas battling it out there on track. Nicely done again. Nice, respectful racing as well. You know, that little tiny bit of contact to the side. Nothing wrong with that at all. You know, you've got to lean on the cars, and that's what the beautiful thing about stock car racing is. You can lean on your opponent a little bit. Nothing wrong with that at all, and that's all part of the game.
The cars are definitely a lot straighter than they were at this point last week. The panel beating Bill after Coda would have been massive for all the different teams.
It is absolutely
Oh, a big hit of the wall from Snadden. You just see Snadden's just getting a little bit loose off corner, just tapping the wall a couple of times, just ruins his momentum, just dragging him back to the cars behind him.
So there's been a couple of times where they have really gotten close to that wall, and they are making sure that the painters of these cars are going to have their jobs cut out for them. Might not be the panel beaters, but some of the painters are going to have to replace the right side of the paint jobs here tonight. It is been a few times where they have given that wall a nice little glancing blow. This battle now up in P8 and 9. We got Josh Micklemore up here and Tom Freer battling it out. Freer getting a nice run down the inside and getting the 41 up a position. Josh Micklemore just trying to hold on to that spot. Can't quite make it work at the moment and just drops down that position. And Tom Freer moves it up into 8th.
The setup out of the Nitro boys this weekend just seems a little bit loose. Doesn't seem to have that long run pace.
Shane Bowen just having a big slide through the corner. Back end just screaming out for attention through turn number 2. Managed to save it in the Cobalt Racing entry, but lost a whole heap of time and a whole heap of momentum. And you do not want to be doing that too often because it is just going to hurt and hurt and hurt you.
And we've still got Brendan Burkhart just up the inside of Dane Snadden there. This just really tightening up with these guys. They're midway through probably this tyre stint. The fuel starting to get a bit lighter. Oh, so that brings out the caution. I believe Brandon Burkhart just lost it and went around. That car looks very slippery right now. Those tyres will be overheated. Do the guys elect to take a set of tyres now or just fuel? There's still a long way in this race to go.
Yeah, it almost locks up. The number 9 just locks up a little bit and makes contact with the 3. The front end, the front right tyre has taken enough punishment in this race, and it just goes, no, I'm not going to give you any more grip. And he just goes sliding up into Dean Snadden there, unfortunately. And unfortunately for the 9, it ends up sending him around. Does the secondary contact? No, just about sneaks it through for Daniel Boyd there. That was a lottery ticket buying moment there for Daniel Boyd.
Shouldn't be a whole lot of damage on that car. He might have got away with it. Everyone's coming down pit lane. Who takes tyres? They can take 3 sets of tyres in this race. Everyone's taken 1 set.
As it's all happening now. We've got Nigel in the booth with us now as the pit stops start happening fast and furiously. I think you've got to take tyres right now. They did about 40 laps into that stint, so tyres are going to be crucial, and this could be the last stop of the race. So this is going to be a really, really important stop to make for everybody, I think.
Well, you did say that it's about 70 laps of fuel to the stint there. So if these guys go green, is someone going to roll the dice to take a bit of a chance for a pit stop? 70 laps is a long way to go on tyres. You start to see how much the cars move around after just 40 laps.
Yeah, and a lot of that's going to be heat related as well. So, you know, it's always such a gamble. I wonder if anybody is going to try and do something a little bit different out there. Can't see anything on my timing screens for that. So it looks like everybody is pretty much doing the normal thing. Dane Snadden Only stationary in the box for 6.6 seconds, though, so that could be interesting.
That might be right side tyres only.
Yo.
So the lights are out on the pace car. There's still a car quite slow on the apron there. Just letting the fuel go by. He'll be queuing up at the end of the race a lap or multiple laps down.
So I can confirm Dean Snadden did not take any tyres. So in 5th position at the moment, Dean Snadden really rolling the dice here for another caution to come out and try and get some slightly fresher tyres. That's going to be an interesting one to watch. Keep an eye on that 0-3 as they come to the restart zone. Newman has to do it again. Is it going to be 4th time the charm? We will soon find out as we go back to green flag racing. Newman gets another nice start up at the front.
Good jump by Danson as well. He's side by side with Jason Martin. Little bit of contact there, not much. All very tight and very clean. That tail end of the top 10 is so tight in there. They're 3 wide. As Dane Snadden's starting to get eaten up by the guys with the fresh tyres. He's just fallen behind.
That 0-3 is going to be in a whole heap of pain. It's not too bad for the first corner almost, because you've got your tyres up to temperature, but then all of a sudden you're just going to start falling back at a vast rate of knots, and that's exactly what's happening up the front. Jason Martin making a move right now on
Ethan Winter. Ethan's not giving him an inch of space down the bottom of the racetrack. Then you got Matt Danson right in front of him. They all want that spot to try and chase down Brad Newman, who at the start, every restart, just skipped away that little bit. He's 0.8 of a second out in front. Doesn't have to deal with the fighting of everyone. Not wearing his tyres too much.
It's such a nice position being at the front because you can just take the line that you want to take, and you don't have to worry about anybody in front of you sort of balking your progress. So he's enjoying that for the moment. But behind him, it is an absolute knife fight. There is fighting throughout the field as it stands. Matt Danson moving up into 2nd position, 23 positions gained in this race. I said watch out for Danson.
Ethan Winter's not giving it to him. You can see him giving a little bump through the corner there.
He's not given up yet, has he, Winter? Really, really putting the pressure on. And, well, we've seen Winter have some great pace this race. And once again, really putting the screws to Matt Danson and making him work for that 2nd position. And I think Winter will be looking to try and make an attack when he can too.
He's looking high, he's looking low. He's going around the outside now. He's going to try and get that momentum. Now darts to the inside.
Oh, we got contact with Riley Curtis going around. Will it bring a caution out? No, I think we're going to stay green here. Riley Curtis and I think it's Jason Holdsworth. 2 teammates are in trouble, and it looks like 2 teammates have collided. Jason Holdsworth losing in the rear goes into Riley Curtis, and that is night over for the number 8 and the number 90. Yeah, we'll go to the replay now. Oh, we don't have a replay, sorry. So it's pretty much night done for Jason Holdsworth. The front end is absolutely broken. Riley Curtis doesn't look to have huge damage, but it's going to be a tricky one to recover for the 93. So that is really unfortunate for the Nitro boys.
As we see, Ethan Winter has passed Matt Danson now. And the 21 of Jason Martin just starting to range up behind him. Maybe the middle stint of these tyres is not the greatest for Matt Danson, or he's trying to save his tyres for later in the stint. They might need to go another 60 lap on these tyres. Matt Danson there has gained 22 positions in his race. Might have ruffled a few feathers to get there.
That works his way through.
I see a message there from Ryan Barber saying, hey boys, the engine went boom, so that's his night done. And Giannis has no tyre strategy. It's definitely not working out. No, it has not worked for...
Yeah, I was just looking for Dean Snadden, and pace is not
19.
great. Yeah, he's got Ruben Phelps just sailing past him at the moment. And yeah, that strategy really not looking like it's paying out too well. But if we get another caution in the near future, it could really pay dividends for Snadden, who has got an extra set of tyres up his sleeve. So just praying for that caution, a counter strategy, and it doesn't always work in your favour, that, but sometimes you get lucky. But usually in my experience, the luck never comes when you need it.
Yeah, so here we have the DPR car of Brian Jones just looking on the back of Jason Martin.
A big happy birthday to Dean as well. I mean, we've not yet sung it. But...
we appreciate all the hard work every week. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a week that Dean puts in. So we want to just say thank you.
We'll make sure Dean has a beautiful birthday cake for him, and we'll see if anybody's inside of it. Anyway, back to the racing. Up the front, it's Matt Danson with Jason Martin right behind him, and this takes me back to a long time ago, seeing Martin and Danson out on track, dicing it up with each other. Ryan Jones there too, sticking to the back with Wayne Burke. So we're sitting there, and we've seen Tom Freer really having some good speed in the 41 too, and that car is starting to close the gap too. So got a real good battle throughout the pack for third position as it stands. Ethan Winters just managing to keep himself ahead at the moment, but Brad Newman flying out in front. Newman is looking very, very comfortable in that car at the moment.
He pulled a 1.8 second lead on Ethan Winter, and then it's all very tight for after them. There's no more than about 0.2, 0.3 of a second between them, if even that. You can see they're all just nose to tail through there. They might be in a bit of conservative mode now. They were fighting earlier in the stint. They maybe thought the better of it to make these tyres last.
Well, that's the big thing, Aaron. It's keeping the tyres alive now. They all have to sort of be thinking to get to the end and not be burning them up too much, because it's all too easy to go a bit too hard, burn that right front tyre up, and you could find yourself popping it before you get to the end of the race. So we could see some people getting that tyre worn down to the point where it will end up going pop. So that's something to keep an eye out for in those final 10 or so laps. We've got 53 laps remaining here. We're on lap 87 now, and this race is flying along as it stands. And let's say Newman has got that nice lead, but behind him it is racing all the way down the pack.
These guys are going to have to start working together if they want to catch Newman. They can't be battling with too hard with each other. I believe Jason Martin just kind of saw the better of that fight, or makes me look silly right now as he dives up the inside. Now pulls back in line. These guys fight too hard, they'll just wear out those tyres, especially that white front. You saw what happens in that last caution when the right front just goes, you just lose that turn in, and then the guys behind you can just be unaware of what's going on, and just the smallest of contacts and send you around. So here we have the battle for 12th and 13th with Andy Barber and Daniel Boyd.
Shane Bowen, actually, I think. Down on the inside there. Sort of battling it out there, and Boyd coming into the fight as well now. So it's a four-way battle with Bailey Lessons as well, sort of just sitting at the back and watching how this can go. And this is really giving us another fantastic little battle on track. And it is, as we say, throughout the pack, it's trying to keep an eye where the best action is, and at the moment it is down here. Shane Bowen just getting the move done on Daniel Boyd. Daniel Boyd taking that high line, trying to get it through. Ooh, Bowen's car's not looking.
They're starting to look at 3 wide.
And they were thinking about it, weren't they?
29 of Daniel Boyd just kind of wants to get past these two, but they just hold him up. Andy Barber and Shane Bowen. Oh, as they start getting in the door.
They're racing
And Bailey
hard.
Listen just capitalises a little bit on that.
As we've got some
But
free
Bailey
wide
just-
action.
Taking that inside line, taking the dog leg. He's probably got the best tyres out of a lot of them at the moment. You see the little slide there from Shane Bowen. They'll just hurt his momentum.
That's sometimes the nice thing about sitting at the back of the little battle like that. You can see where everybody else is positioning their car and then take advantage of that. We saw Dave Douglas doing that a little bit earlier on. Bailey Lessons there just doing it to perfection there and moving himself up that position now, just trying to get that fight done. This battle is the closest on track at the moment, although they're trying up the front to get it a little bit closer. It's not quite there just yet, but Jason Martin we're going to jump to now, who is just trying to hold off Wayne Burke, and that is that's going to be a good fight coming up. And Ethan Winters sort of doing a good job of keeping a gap to dancing up ahead of him, where Ryan Jones is really glued to the back there too. So we've got sort of multiple fights going on at the moment. This is where we wish we could have multiple cameras because it would make our lives easier.
We've got Tom Frere just punching his ticket into this one too. So we get to see from the roof of Tom Frere's car, the Team Conti car, who takes the wider line. The 89 in front just doesn't quite get down to the apex, might be pushing a little bit tight. The right front just protected a little bit. You see all the different lines everyone taking about a car width apart. And that's just a different way the drivers can conserve the either the right front or the right rear, depending how the car's set up.
And that's it.
As they say on Laser Thunder, loose is fast, but loose, one, is hard to drive, two, will burn up that right rear in no time.
It is such a balance to get it right, of course, and it's how you like to drive the car as well. Some drivers will want it really nice and loose. Some drivers like it a little bit tighter, and some like it a bit more neutral. But we've got this battle going on up at the front. There's still the battle going on between Bowen and Lesson as well. Those two have kept this fight going constantly as well. And finally, I think Bailey Lessons has just managed to get his way up through, as Shane Bowen just gave the wall a little nibble a couple of laps ago, lost that momentum, has fallen back a little bit. Andy Barber is looking like he's driving a handful at the moment in the Southern Stars car too. That thing is not looking like it is gripping how he wants to. So this sort of pack down here in sort of 12th down is really, really quite close together, and they will get battling once again, I'm sure.
They'll be chasing the top 10, just that little speck on their stat sheet for the year, just how many top 10s you can sneak in.
That's the thing, it's consistency like that can make a huge difference. If you can just keep chipping away at those sort of top 10 finishes, you find yourself sitting quite well in the point positions, and it is just keeping yourself out of trouble. Not the easiest thing to do.
So those guys just watching on the YouTube or the Facebook, just chuck us a like, chuck us a subscribe. really helps get this thing a bit further out. We can look at getting more sponsors, look at building this thing up. Oh, big hit of the wall up in the fence. Can't see what car that is.
And
There's
I
a
think it's
few
Noddy
cars
Tompkins.
looking very squirrely at this part of the race.
So I think that was
done 30 laps on these tyres now, 31, 32 laps. We'll start to see who used the best of them early.
So the battle is continuing as Jason Martin's just fending off. And now Dave Douglas and Josh Micklemore giving us some action too. And got Lachlan Mead for counters there too. These all three cars here are very quick. They've just been either unfortunate or just out of position. We're seeing Dave Douglas work his way back up through the pack now and try and get himself back into the pointy end of the grid. So will Dave be able to make the move on teammate Micklemore? Hopefully we don't see a repeat of what we saw earlier, two Nitro cars making contact with each other, which we saw with Riley Curtis and Jason Holdsworth, of course.
Big slide there, mid-corner from Micklemore.
And that's going to give Mead the opportunity.
As we got Nick Bottrell around on the back straight.
What's happened here for Nick? As I say, back end stepped out, taking a really wide entry in there. It looks like back end has been stepped out for a bit of that corner. And
he's just trying to catch it, lose it. Oh, and unfortunately someone gets cleaned up in it.
The 52 there gets caught in that one. And Henry King gets out. So from the cockpit here.
Couple stabs at the throttle, couple of stabs at the steering wheel. So you can just see him loose there. The steering wheel's straight, but he's still turning the corner. So that suggests that car's a little bit loose. The right rear's a little bit too hot. And he's just chasing it all the way around the corner. He'll be on and off the throttle. And just unfortunately didn't quite get to keep it pointing in the right direction. We've had a bunch of drivers elect to stay out. Brad Newman, he's in the pits. Ethan Winters in the pits.
So sticking it out.
Jason Martin, who are in the pits.
Wayne Burke, Tom Freer, Brandon Burkhart, Andy Barber, and Nick Bottrell, all sticking it out. This is exactly what Snadden would have wanted, because this is a chance to get those extra tyres on.
And the late race caution, he'll have an extra set. And I'm assuming that's what Matt Danson, Wayne Burke, Tom Freer, Burkhart, Bottrell. Well, Bottrell probably just trying to get a bit of track position back after that spin.
And we're joined in the booth by Mr. Nigel Sodell. Nigel, how you going, mate?
How we going tonight, boys? I'm going good.
I did try and introduce you earlier, but you just disappeared when I did that.
Oh no, that's okay. No, there's a little bit going on behind the scenes. A bit of work, a bit of life stuff, but we can deal with that another time. As what are we now? 24 laps left in this race.
34.
34.
Yeah.
It's been a big day.
Luckily, I have a program that gives me maths. I don't have to try and work it out in my head, because that would never happen. We'd be here till next week.
So, yeah, I don't know what actually is going on here, guys. So I'll let you boys keep the call going. And I'll just join in.
I just want to add on Matt Danson. He stayed out. So he's one of those drivers that stayed out. And is going to see what they can do on those slightly worn tyres. So we've got a lot of cars up the front. We've got 6 cars up at the front that have not stopped. So Jason Martin is the first car on fresh tyres coming into the restart zone. Finally tonight, it's somebody else leading away, and it's Matt Danson. coming to the green flag. Watch out for them putting their foot down. Hopefully nobody spins up the tyres too much. Danson gets a bit of a slide. That's going to give Wayne Burke the opportunity. And watch out for those fresh tyres behind.
There's someone coming up the pit road. And you can see how aggressive.
Whoop, someone's around.
Caution flags out. The 21, I believe.
Jason Martin is
Martin,
gone around.
I think Nick Bottrell was involved with that too, I reckon.
Yeah. So Jason Martin gets a bit of a nudge from behind from Ryan Jones, I think, and just spears him up into Nick Bottrell. Yeah. It is chaos back there. And there was a secondary incident going on behind as well.
Nick Bottrell, he's having an absolute shocker tonight.
So you might want to go back and look at Daniel Boyd as well, because there was a second accident happening there as well. Like we saw earlier on, actually, we had 2 accidents happening at once. Same thing tonight, Daniel Boyd, Ruben Phelps making contact, and that has sent him around hitting Riley Curtis. A few incidents, unfortunately, for Riley tonight as well. But that is chaos on that restart, and Mick Campbell as well, just getting caught on the back, and that sent him spinning around.
They're just trying to get that track position, make a few spots early. Bit hard to do when it's that congested.
Yeah, it's just chaos, and that's often what happens when you get people staying out and coming in for tyres, and when you get a big mix of strategies at a race like this, especially Phoenix. Chaos does tend to happen after these situations, and we've got a lot of cars coming in. Looks like repair work going on for the majority of these cars, rather than just pit stops.
So the first 5 cars, I believe, have not pitted.
So the first 4, so Burkhart, Freer, Bork, and Danson have not made their stops. Winter and Newman on their fresh boots, Andy Barber on old boots, and then everybody behind should be on some fresh sets of tyres. Just there we go. So we can see those.
I would imagine Brad Newman won't have an extra set of tyres. He's used his 3 sets allowed for the race. Same as Ethan Winter and everyone behind. So Matt Danson's probably hoping for a bit of a late race caution. 10, 15, 20 laps. Get that last set on and drive it hard to the finish. If it goes green, he might be in some trouble. With 40 laps already under the belt. Another 29 to go.
And you also have to remember too that Danson won the championship race here last November in a cliffhanger.
Green flag. They're going green.
3 wide at the back.
So Wayne Burke went out really wide on the start there, but it seems to have stuck for him.
I get the feeling Wayne Burke will have got a penalty for that one. So I get the feeling he's going to have to come in and serve a penalty for that one, for jumping the start a little bit too much, because he was ahead of Danson when they crossed the line. Meanwhile, you've got Brad Newman going down the inside of Danson. Now they're 3 wide. Really sticking it out there, and it is getting very spicy here. 4 wide now. It is really
Newman's
on for this race.
But Ethan Winter is just hanging on the outside, and you are correct. Wayne Burke does have a penalty looming over his head. Most likely a drive-through penalty, which will put him at least a lap down, and at this stage in the race, takes him out of the race.
Yeah, that is a painful one. But up the front is Brad Newman now in the lead with Winter Douglas. Douglas all of a sudden getting himself back up into the front of this pack. Lachlan Mead, Ryan Jones, Matt Danson, Josh Micklemore, Tom Freer, Ruben Phelps, and Shane Bowen. That's our top 10 at the moment. But expect
You can
that
just
to
see
chop and
Danson
change.
just slipping down the order. Just the tyre advantage everyone else has over him. About 38 laps newer. He will 100% be hoping there's going to be a caution.
He needs a late caution to make this work. He is going to be plummeting down the field here, and it's going to be very difficult without a late stage caution here tonight at Phoenix. But well, it is Phoenix, and there's caution can come.
Now. I believe Ant Cuthbertson. Position 13.
See what we've got
Just low on the
here.
corner. Got Riley Curtis on his outside. Just comes up. Just maybe doesn't realise that Riley's there. Riley's had an absolute shocker of just getting caught up in accidents this race.
I think the spotter's going to get a hot dog.
Yeah. The spotter was obscured by a giant cactus, unfortunately.
Riley's just come in with a head of steam, and I don't know if Ant knew he was there.
Yes, I don't think the spotter got back from his hot dog at the canteen from the restart on that one.
Oh, as you see, a bit of collateral damage in the background.
So we've got some pits action happening as well. We've got Ryan Jones. Ryan Jones, Tom Freer in the pits. So they are coming in for some...
Their last set of tyres, I believe.
I'd say so, yeah. So that's going to work out for them. But interestingly, Danson hasn't made a stop. So Danson is gambling that we're going to get another caution. Danson's in P6 at the moment and has not made a stop. So gambling man Matt Danson right now is trying something very different. Only made 2 stops so far in this race, so definitely has a set of tyres ready to go.
He last pitted on lap 69 when everyone else pitted on lap 105.
So I reckon a lot of those ones coming in that time round were just coming in for repairs, because none of them were sort of regular pit stop times. They were all sort of lengthy repair sort of timings going on. So a lot of those drivers that came in were just doing it for repairs and probably didn't have an extra set of tyres up their sleeve. So that could be interesting to see. I'm just going back. Well, you just have big sleeves, Dean. You know, you've got to have very big sleeves. Dean was just asking me how to keep up my sleeve, and I'm just gonna, yeah. You have very big sleeves.
Ready for this next restart? Jump on the chat. Tell us who you think's going to win. Has Newman got there, or is Danson maybe full of strategy out of nowhere? Does Ethan Winter have what it takes? You see Newman get a pretty good jump, but Winter's right there. Got Douglas right behind him. So Dave's going to have the inside on Ethan Winter. They give each other plenty of room. These guys are going to want to sort it out quickly, or else Newman's just going to...
There's craziness going on throughout the field. I just wanted to jump back as well. Wayne Burke. It's worked out absolutely perfectly for Wayne Burke, who's back on the lead lap and scything his way through the field, up into P8 at the moment, and absolutely charging after having to do that drive through the middle there of Danson.
You can see Danson just doesn't have an answer for it with the old tyres. Oh, car hits the wall in the background. Doing big tank slapper. He's got Shane Bowen in right behind him.
Danson's the cork in the bottle at the moment. And the
See,
fight is
Lockie
on.
Mead just making the move on Dave Douglas there. He's just lost a little bit to Ethan Winter, who's going to be putting the hammer down to try and chase Brad Newman.
And you can see here from Josh Micklemore's position, watching this fight up ahead and trying to figure out what's happening as Winter just gives the wall a little brush. Absolutely perfectly done, though. No loss of time or momentum. Just gave that wall the absolute perfect kiss there. But they are battling out through this field. There is some fantastic action going on.
So
And here's Wayne
Wayne's
Burke.
up into 5th position. Now going to send it up the inside. Well, looking on the inside at Lockie Mead. DU jumps like the dog leg there. So Dave Douglas comes a long way down. Wayne Burke not too far down. Now looking around the outside. Try and get that momentum. Get the drive off the corner.
Well,
So has Wayne Burke gone to serve his penalty, and then the yellows came out?
yeah.
And that helped. It's just the luck of the draw that it's happened like that. So that penalty has like eroded itself.
Also took tyres in that caution. So not only served the penalty, but is on the freshest tyres out there. That is why he's scything through the field at the moment, because he's taking that last set of tyres and gambling that we're not going to see another caution, and it is working out for Wayne Burke.
I was going to say before that that Wayne has just had a lucky break with the pits. He's put fresh tyres on this car with 23 to go when the restart was. Has honestly worked in his favour. It's look out for the 89 machine.
If he gets some clear air, he might be bringing the fight to Brad Newman. Still a fair way down the road though. It was a second and a half, 1.3 seconds. So he's definitely eating away at him.
Go.
So Brad's led 120 laps of this race. Who's got an answer for him? He's been looking super strong.
Got to wonder if you're Brad Newman, because you basically had a clean gap behind you all race long. Basically, Ethan Winter sitting behind you all race long. He's going to look back, and all of a sudden, there's Wayne Burke charging at him at a vast rate of speed. He'll be going, wait, where's he come from? Didn't he just have to serve a black flag penalty? What's going on here?
Well, he was 1.5 tenths quicker that lap, Wayne Burke, than Brad Newman, the leader. So we have got a race on our hands, guys.
And not too many people have bought the challenge to Ethan Winter, but Wayne Burke is about to. You can just see how much tighter he can hold it down on that bottom line and take the momentum with it. Just chip away. He's only a second behind Brad now.
We was 2 tenths quicker that lap than Ethan Winter, and 1 tenth quicker than Brad Newman that lap. So look out, here comes the 89.
89
this could be a master stroke if there's no more caution. But then the other guys around him won't have any fresher tyres sitting in the pits, so
he needs to get this pass done as soon as possible, and it looks like it might be happening.
Yeah. It's going to happen now.
They're two teammates, Team Tonchi cars. Ethan's not going to make it hard on him.
That's always the famous last words before the teammates make contact, isn't it?
Hopefully these guys are working together.
Should be able to just slide up here, and he has got that position made.
So 1 second down the road, there's a bit of traffic in front. Newman's going to be wary of the traffic around here after the ANC contact that took him out of the race late in that race as he was leading in this exact situation.
So another car to watch out for as well is going to be Ruben Phelps, who also looks to be on fresh boots. So the 06 Ruben Phelps is also on this one.
So we're down to 0.75, 3/4 of a second.
The clean air between them now as well. Wayne Burke is going to be able to close this gap and is 2/10 faster that lap as well. So a 28.3 for Wayne Burke, a 28.5 for Newman. And they're starting to get to traffic as well, everybody. Traffic will come into play. It's going to get juicy and spicy here.
So there's 9 laps left. 0.6 of a second. Now you can just see that distance just shrinking away. The lap cars just hit the fence. That's going to make Brad a little bit nervous in front.
Coming up on Snadden at the moment, and that's going to be the sort of lapped car when Snadden pulls it in.
Getting out of the way. You're going in the pit lane.
He's like, nah, I'm not getting involved with this. I'm getting out of the way. There's Wayne Burke now. He's going to need all of these 8 laps to catch Brad Newman, I think. But it's going to be a battle right at the last. We've had some last corner battles all year this year. I think we've had 3 races so far decided on the last corner of the race. Can this be another one?
So we're down to half a second now. One thing catching Brad, but getting past him will be a whole nother game.
Fastest car on track is the 89. It's Wayne Burke. Still the fastest car out on track.
Yellow flag.
Flag is out.
Yellow flag.
Matt Danson, I believe, was in the wall.
Oh, so down in 14th position.
14th.
Contact with the 79, it looks like. So let's. Oh, sorry, it's dropped down. So 15th position, Matt Danson. So Daniel Boyd as well. So let's get the replay here. So it's contact between the 79.
79, just a little bit loose.
Oh.
So Daniel Boyd just gets a little bit loose, comes up the track, and unfortunately Matt Danson, trying to play that master stroke of this late race portion, is a part of it. Might have a little bit of damage on, but also might have got away with that. Might just be a bit of rear end bumper damage.
Wow.
So there's the drivers here on pit road. There's a few heading down. Andy Barber, Michael Campbell looks like they're heading down.
So get this replay, and yep, bang, contact there, and well, that is going to really spice things up because Newman doesn't have a set of tyres to change to by the looks of things, so it's not come down the lane, and this is well, game on for Wayne Burke now because that gap that he was trying to close down will not really be that big. He's just got to make that restart perfectly. Of course, Brad Newman will have the advantage, will get the chance to get his foot down first, but he has to be so careful of getting that one right. So make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this race, and we will be heading to Las Vegas next time out. Yes, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a fantastic place. Always a bit of a gamble, and well, Wayne Burke has gambled possibly the right way tonight. We will find out in just a few short laps here at the Australian NASCAR eSeries for the X Series Round 4 here at Phoenix.
Wayne Burke's moved up 27 positions to be able to be in the spot that he's in. So he's got 11 lap fresher tyres than the people around him, down to Tom Freer. So Brad Newman last pitted on 105. Wayne Burke, starting position 29's up 27th. Last pitted lap 116. That's the big tell. So lap 105 for Dave Douglas for the last time in the pits. 105 for Ethan Winter.
And we are going to be going green here. It's going to be a race to the finish. And Burke trying to get the advantage, but loses it a little bit. That gives Newman the chance to just get himself out in the lead. And that little moment just cost Wayne Burke that little bit. He's going to have to get up to speed now. Newman jumping out nicely ahead. All the chaos could be in the background. Will we see a green-white checker tonight, or will we go to the checker without that? But really has to get on it now, get those tyres up to temperature, and get the battling on for Wayne Burke.
And just chase him down. Did Newman get enough there? Of course,
Yellow.
Daniel Boyd is into the wall. The 79 of Daniel Boyd.
Ooh, heavy contact with Nick Bottrell coming in. Just makes contact, late braking, and goes into the back of the 79, and that brings out the caution and what's going to be a green-white checker.
Just 3 wide. Danson's on the inside. He just panicked a little bit. And we also might have seen a DQ there.
I believe so.
Nick Bottrell has been disqualified from this race.
So the instant point limit will have been hit there for Nick Bottrell, unfortunately, and that has taken him out. I can also say quickly, Matt Danson's got a black flag, so he needs to serve that one. Same as Dane Snadden. So there are a couple of black flags that need to be cleared in this race, and well, that's going to be even more painful for some of those drivers. But this gives Wayne Burke another opportunity at that restart. He has to make it work perfectly this time, because it is helping Brad Newman. Newman is just relaxing now, letting those tyres cool down, and that's going to be so crucial. That car will be cooling down nicely.
Gentle on the throttle there. He'll have it in top gear. No real movement of the wheel. Don't want to put any more heat into him.
Well, we saw with that last restart, Wayne Burke was absolutely on his door. He was trying to match that car and trying to keep himself as close as possible. You just got to wait and listen. You can just tell. He's staring right through the car, he's staring at the tacho in that car and seeing when that thing starts to rev so he can match it himself. But that is the closeness of it.
And let's not forget the 41 of Tom Freer. He's up to 4th place.
And on fresh tyres.
He's had a good run. And Ruben Phelps is back up into P6 as well. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting restart.
So there's a few different tyre strategies in this. So about 11 laps difference between the two of them. Can Wayne Burke learn the lessons from the last restart? Maybe not be as close to the door to hamper his own restart. But he's not going to want to give an inch.
And we also remember the championship race from last year. Ended in a green-white checker as well, where Newman did lose that one to Danson on the last lap. So Newman will be looking for a little bit of redemption today. Here we go. Green flags in the air. Green-white checker.
Newman just pulled out a car length. While Wayne's just got to fight with Ethan Winter a little bit on his inside. Is Ethan going to play the team game and try and hold a few people up behind him so Wayne can have this proper go? He's got 2 teammates right behind him.
And we've got a car spinning in the background. We're going to get a caution out again, possibly. No, it is the white flag, so we are on the way.
The white flag, we're going to the end. Next flag finishes the race. Brad's just got enough of a lead.
Here we go. He's got it. Nah.
Wayne Burke's just having a look. He's just going to fire it on the inside. He's going to be real deep on the brakes.
Oh, here we go. Right on him. Here we go.
Brad's just going up to the wall. I believe Brad got him by a tenth of a second.
Newman wins at Phoenix.
Oh, we said it was going to be close, and it was absolutely close. But Brad Newman has had a stunning night tonight. Every restart he has absolutely nailed, got to say.
Never missed a beat on those restarts. Never gave an inch to anyone. As he throws it down into the dogleg, doing his burnout as he drifted most of the track.
So let's go through the order right now. Race results as they come up on our screen. We've got Brad Newman representing Lobs Esport taking home the checkered flag to win at Phoenix in round 4. Rounding out second position, Wayne Burke from Vermilion Motorsports. Tom Freer is also with Vermilion Motorsports. That's wrong there. In position 3, Ethan Winter in 39th. Yeah, Carl 39th coming in 4th. 5th was Dave Douglas representing Nitro. 6th, SRM's first driver coming through the checkered flag was Ruben Phelps. Josh Mickelmore representing Nitro Racing coming home 7th. Ryan Jones in the DPR Simrigs.com car coming home in 8th. Lachlan Mead coming home in 9th. Bailey Lesson, hope I pronounced that right, rounding out your top 10. Jason Martin coming home in 11th, the second start with the series. Brendan Burkhardt from Nitro coming home in 12th. 13th is Brian Blundell from Blundell Sim Racing. Stone Cold Racing's Ant Cuthbertson coming back from a few incidents to finish in 14th. 15th, Jamie Van Kervis. 16th, Daniel Boyd. 17th, Michael Campbell. Shane Bowen in 18th. 19th is Andy Barber representing Southern Stars. Henry King rounding out your top 20 for representing Jinx Shifters Racing. Riley Curlis representing Nitro in 21. Matt Danson, unfortunately, a few incidents at the end, and at the end they're finishing 22nd. 23rd, Nomdi Tompkins. Dane Snadden Diago. Nick Botchell, Sam Smith, Jason Holdsworth, and Trent Gosley round out your field tonight. It's time to go for our interviews. I'll let you boys start with the interviews. I need a drink.
As we can see in the background there, Brad Newman is in the victory lane there. So we're going to bring our third place finisher, Tom Freer, in for a bit of a chat. Evening, Tom. Congratulations on your third place finish. How's that race for you, mate?
Chaos, honestly. Like, finally hooked the lap in qualifying for once and then found myself at the rear only 3 laps in. So, that was pretty cool. Like, fought pretty hard at the end. Ethan gave me a lot of room, so a lot of respect for him. And yeah, it was pretty cool to be second and third for the night team.
Oh, that's awesome. So, who was your main protagonist during that race? Who do you find yourself racing against the most, and who's the hardest through there?
Probably my teammate, honestly. Berkey and I were nose to tail for, I think it was 40 or 50 laps or something. So we were just looking after one another. But apart from that, like, there wasn't too much fighting. Everyone was pretty sensible. There was a few side-by-side laps with a few people, but no, it was good fun. So yeah, no real protagonists or anything. It was just pretty straightforward.
Now,
Yeah,
since you're new, well, you're in the ANC now. At the last minute, what can you take from these Xfinity races that you're doing during the week into the ANC? Is these practice races for you guys? Is it testing? Is it what does your team do to idolize this time that you can have in the current racing situation, taking that into ANC?
Honestly, it's all just about learning. I think it's pretty new for all of us. Wayne's done a lot of oval in the past, so he's probably picking it up a little bit quicker than everyone else. But yeah, these races really are about learning. It's about racecraft and learning what you can and can't do on an oval, which I found out the hard way a few times so far. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is for us. It's all about learning to take into ANC. Obviously, we've got a few cars in there, and yeah, I think we actually have a car leading the championship as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, just turn up for these events and still put the work in and see what we can come away with and learn from.
Well, the good thing is we head back to Phoenix, I think, at the end of the year for ANC, and well, the championship race for season 2 will be at Phoenix as well. So it's a good little bit of testing for that as well. Well, congratulations on your third place tonight, Tom. Shout out to all of your team and sponsors. Shout out friends, family, whoever you like to speak to.
Yeah, obviously, thank you to Team Conti. They provide us with some pretty good race stocks for ANC, and obviously that translates for this as well. Hymo as well. They're on board with us in 2025. Bird Designs. There's a few others on there. I actually don't have the list with me at the moment, so I could be in trouble. But yeah, just thank you to everyone who's partnered with Vermilion Esports this year and made it possible.
Well, congratulations again, Tom, and we will probably see you at the, if it's not the trucks on Thursday, it'll be ANC on Sunday night at Auto Club.
No worries at all. Thank you.
There is Tom Frere. Let's bring in our second place car in Wayneburg. Wayne, congratulations on your second place tonight. I thought you had the tyres there at the end to push it to Brad in the end, but not quite in the end.
Yeah, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I almost could. I just didn't. I probably could have used the bumper a little bit more, but not quite enough at the end. But yeah, no, it's good results. Finished second. Awesome tyre strat by the team at the end. So that was pretty cool. Second and third for our cars.
So I asked the same kind of question to Tom before, but was there anything that you learned from the ANC race on Sunday night? Did you learn much from that there that you could take into tonight's race as far as strategy goes, as far as tyre, like how long you can go instead of tyres? Is there anything you took from that race into this?
Yeah, definitely. Like I felt like I overdrove way too much in that ANC race on Sunday, so that was one thing I wanted to clean up for today. And I did a bit better job, especially more so in the second stint than the first stint. But yeah, so that was probably one big thing, was just the like learning about the tyre from that ANC race, going into this race. That was probably the biggest thing.
I've got one question I need to ask you. Now, was you lucky with your drive-through that the yellow came out when it did?
Yes, very much so. That was crazy lucky. I think I was about 7 seconds in front of Brad, which if I had gone green, he would have caught me pretty quickly on the fresh tyre. But yes, I was pretty lucky. I needed a yellow within about 2 laps, I reckon. So I dodged a bullet then, and that sort of forced my hand into pitting, and Tom decided to do the same thing. So yeah,
I was watching and I'm thinking, I know you had your a drive-through for the jump start, and I was thinking in my head, and I was thinking, has he just got lucky that the yellows came out at the right time? And obviously it did. So luck can sometimes play a hand. Well, congratulations once again on your third place. Oh, second place. Sorry. Shout out to all your team sponsors, family and friends.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, I'd just like to thank the Vermilion Motorsports guys and Conti Setups, Race Labs, Supernova Motorsports, and the Kart Shop for the support. And bring on. I think we got Auto Club on Sunday night, so that'll be a bit of a different experience. So bring that on.
Yes, we do. Well, congratulations again, and yes, we will probably see you out on track on Sunday night for the round 3.
Thanks, guys.
It was Wayne. Now it's time to bring in our winner, Brad Newman, representing Lobs Esports. Brad, congratulations on your win tonight. You look pretty quick out there. We were a little worried at the end, though, that you weren't going to be able to hold off Wayne, but you did in the end. So congratulations again. Yeah, tell us a bit about your night.
Thanks, boys. Yeah, it was mostly straightforward up until the end, just roll around and save tyres. But I thought Berkey was going to have me at the end there with the tyre advantage. He just needed to hit me a little bit harder and move me up the road, and he probably would have got through. But he's a good, fair bloke, Wayne. So it was a good finish.
Yeah, the same questions I asked the other two just before, because all three of you were in the ANC race last Sunday. Was there anything that you could take from that ANC race as far as tyre strategies go, setups, that you could bring into this race tonight?
Mainly just be careful coming through traffic, I suppose, is a pretty big one. But other than that, just the same old.
No, you had a quick car all night, and you certainly showed the way. Look, we just spoke to Wayne before about his lucky with his jump start with his pit road, so he was lucky with that there. But it was a great finish. We've had a few finishes this year where we've been on the last corner, so it's great to see. So yeah, congratulations once again, Brad. Shout out to all of your team, family, friends, sponsors.
Just like to thank you guys for putting the event on, as always, and the boys at Lobs Esports. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Brad. We'll probably see you on ANC on Sunday night at Auto Club.
Yeah, I'll see you on Sunday night, boys.
Thanks, Brad. There was Brad, and there we go. That was the round 4. Was it round 4?
Yeah,
That is round 4 completed at Phoenix Raceway. A lot of hard racing, a lot of tempers might have been flared in that, but good racing. It was enjoyable to watch.
And next week we head to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where we're in for a cracking race for the X Series. Thursday night. We're off to win the Truck Series of Las Vegas. Sunday night we're at Auto Club with Motorsports Australia for round 3 of the ANC Series, which should be great. So thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for joining in tonight, and we shall see everybody next Tuesday night for the X Series.
Big thank you for Carl for jumping into the booth.
You're more than welcome.
100%. Thanks, Carl. And see you all, Thursday night. Trucks at Vegas.